Now he's going to reverse this alley from Billy White, and that'll only add to that total.
Well, took advantage of Kaplan, who's not the tallest of stature, jumped right over top of him in the back court.
6.5 to go here in the opening quarter of Game 1 of the NBL Championship. It is the Express with an 8-7 lead here early, large in part to their 44.4% shooting from the field. Kaplan to Cameron Lard. Kaplan with the one-handed three. It won't go, and yet somehow bounced back to Lard, but it never touched the rim.
That's why you had to shoot it, right?
But there was 3 seconds left on the shot clock, partner. That was a little bit of an awkward shot look.
Kaplan, I think he needed to get that one off.
Okay. Come see,
I don't think a pass would have been in time.
No, that is true. I just thought the way he kind of one-hand-footed that one.
That was a pretty terrific defense.
He had another 2 Mississippis to do something else.
Yes, maybe that, but...
Stuckman, give and go with Billy White. Does Billy White trying to expose Cameron Lard? Here he goes after Lard, but kicks it out to Garth instead. Step back from the free throw line. Well, go for Nick Garth.
Both teams playing pretty good defense. Right in their face, challenging every shot. Not many good open looks. There's
Cameron Lard, beautiful fake on Billy White. I'm going left, psych, I'm going right.
I love that interior passing from Isom up top as well.
Moving this into the front court, guarded by Marcus Oddie is Latin Davis. Davis, great ball handling skills and a nice pass down low to Jackson, but Jackson was trying to feed Stuckman and the officials whistle blew.
That was Isom, just a little too aggressive underneath with his hands. The referee called it.
We mentioned it time and time again, partner. London shot 70% from the free throw line, which was dead last in this league. Windsor shot 76.1%, which was good for second.
Yeah, and like I've said over the year before, to me, as a team, you need to shoot around 75%. The good players are shooting over 80% for sure, right? But you got to shoot at least 70% as your worst player, 75% as a team. Your good shooters are over 80, and that whatever possible, you're trying to get your good shooters to the foul line, of course.
Doug Plum is the 3rd London Lightning head coach to win the Coach of the Year award. He's technically your 2-time defending Coach of the Year. Michael Richards won the award in 2012 and 2013 when the team won the championship.
Michael Ray Richardson?
That's right.
Yes.
And Kyle Julius won it when Doug was an assistant to him in 2017. Right, yeah. Plum is now the 3rd-born Canadian head coach to win the award. Kyle Julius in 2017 was a Canuck, and so was Mike Leslie in 2018. And now Doug Plum is in good company. Joe Salerno is... Him and Doug Plum are the only head coaches to ever win this award 3 times, as now Salerno has won it in 2013, 2019, and 2020.
Jones has won it a couple times too, I believe, right?
He's a 2-time Coach of the Year. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of respect for that coach, especially since he's been here since the beginning of the franchise as well.
Hard to believe you go all the way back to May 12th of 2012. You had teams like Halifax, Moncton, the Oshawa Power, the Summerside Storm all announced to join the league. In fact, I think back to August 21st of 2020 or 2011 at the Rogers Center, they actually had a draft. And that's when the Oshawa Power selected Morgan Lewis of the University of Findlay with the 1st overall pick in league history. From the end line, it's Davis finding Stuckman, who in turn found White. They're going to say Lard, though, touched this last, and Windsor gets another opportunity here.
I think White bounced it off a Lard's foot that time. It's still their possession. They got 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Look at Stuckman, just so physical underneath.
Garth just sort of weaseled his way between the Lightning defense and the floater is good. His team's got a 10-9 lead as a result.
Yeah, I like the body language for Windsor and the confidence they're coming with. Now, London, to me, they're playing a little discombobulated. You like that word, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
But they seem to really adapt during the game. I think Coach Plum will figure it out as well, so will the players.
Isom, 3's away. No good.
Good-looking shot. It's like any other league, right? You got to make the shot when you're open.
Marique Isom, over the course of the regular season, a 44.4% shooter from downtown, and he had an open look there, partner.
Yeah, it was a good setup.
Billy White, 3's away. Well, both teams starting to build a brick house here from distance. Remember, there's only a combined 19 points on the board. We're 7.5 into this game. Now, Marcus Oddie, oh, my word, was trying to change that. No love from the officials, as it's Adams drawing the call on White the other way. So Billy White, as I mentioned before, played for the Halifax Hurricanes, played for the Moncton Magic over the course of 7,641 minutes. Before joining the Windsor Express, partner, he already had 3,989 points in this league.
Oh, yes.
Last year, he led the Express with 435 points in total. This year, he was able to lead them on the court with 17.7 points per game.
Like longevity is so key, right? Being available to play and then playing for such a long time.
It's got to be the Rugrats tattoo on his calf muscle
as well, right?
It's
He's
got to
still
be
producing.
the cartoon. He's got the Rugrats cartoon on his calf muscle.
I did not know that, yeah.
He's got to keep that childish energy, I guess. As it is Marcus Oddie getting some love off the backboard. And a little game of pong going on here, back and forth as this 1 point lead gets exchanged.
Like I said, both teams really are feeling each other out, and they're showing each other what the coaches are trying to set up.
Tanner Stuckman, the Illinois native, can't get love from distance. And I mentioned this before, Windsor's 0 of 5 from downtown. London's 1 of 5 so far in this game. Nuga, recognizing that, utilizes his speed to the basket.
Well, this is where I'm talking about adjustment by London, right? They put two quicks on, like Nuga and Audie, and they're both driving to the rim. Late call on that foul there, but nobody picked up Stuckman when he was racing down the court underneath the basket. But Doug Plum on purpose puts two players that are of similar quality, similar nature, similar ball handlers, and both like to drive it hard to the hoop. So the last two possessions, Nuga did one, Audie did the other ones. That's the pressure he's trying to put on the defense, especially with no Justin Moss clogging up the middle.
Stuckman was a 79% shooter from the free throw line over the course of the season, where he averaged 26.8 minutes per game, starting 14 of 33 games for Bill Jones. If you recall, last year, he was the only player on the Express to play in all 24 games of the regular season schedule.
Durable, like it. Physical and durable.
And I've mentioned this time and time again, so I'll throw it in there again. He actually stuck around in his hometown Quincy to play for Quincy. That's a Division II program where he started 86 of 98 games, and he had over 1,260 points in a Quincy uniform. So the Lightning with a 1 point lead, trying to add to it here as we approach the 3-minute mark of the opening quarter. Game 1 of a best of 5 with Game 2 on tap Saturday night. Adams busts the zone.
Hunting down his shot. Everybody knows he can shoot it, and that's why he's out there. He's got a green light anytime. He can shoot from the three. He's doing it.
Adams was a member of the 2022 champion squad, looking to make it back-to-back in a yellow uniform.
He's Lard against Billy White.
White with a great cross-court pass to Jackson. Active hands by Jeremiah Mordi, springs the ball loose.
3, 2,
Latin
1.
Davis listens to ya.
Goodness.
Beats the John Buzzer.
All he had to do was delay him one more dribble and the clock would have run out.
Sounds silly, John, but even just doing what you just did as a teammate, so crucial come playoff time as Butterfingers from Cameron Lard, they lose the ball.
Yeah, typically he has a good pair of hands down there. That time he was already thinking about his shot, I think.
I think of, maybe March Madness or some other championships in other leagues where, you can't even think it's so loud in the building. And I think that's so imperative for your bench sometimes, especially when obviously they're on your side of the court, mind you, to count down the shot clock so you know where exactly you are.
Yeah, sometimes you lose focus. Claiborne's on for Windsor.
William Claiborne going after Kerjean Cooch. Can't get love off the back of the rim. Rebound pops loose to Adams. The Michigan native to Jeremiah Mordi. Drops it to Nuga. Into the corner. 3 balls away. Null and void.
Yeah, but you can't argue as a coach or as a team. Like, that's a good drive to the hoop and a good kick out for a wide open three. You just got to make them.
See Calise out on the court right now, the Scarborough native and a product of Oregon. It is Latin Davis from distance for 2.
Heating up a little bit.
We're tied up at 16s with $1:40 remaining in the opening quarter.
Big physical battle. Well, whoever's guarding Stuckman, they better keep their composure because he is banging down there trying to get position.
These teams saw each other 7 times over the course of the regular season. London won 6 of those occasions. The lone victory February 1st in this building, a 105-104 final. And that was all thanks to Billy White's last-second heroics. A push foul called down underneath the Windsor basket.
It's so hard to box out young Cooch. He's just so nimble for such a tall guy. And he's always relentless trying to get to the basket on those rebounds. Claiborne's trying to box him out, and he had to resort to pushing him out of bounds.
The previous season, Claiborne started in 1 of 6 games for Bill Jones. This year, partner, 11 of 33. It's safe to say he's taken on a lot more responsibility in this season. Jeremiah Mordi, step back 2, rims out, Stuckman on the rebound, just leaves it there for Davis to move it into the front court. Stuckman looking around at his options. Will find Jackson on the far side. They want to get it to Claiborne, who's being watched fiercely by Jean Couch. Here's the turnover. Can London make them pay? Adams from another area code. The call won't connect.
I was going to say, I think he's going to shoot and stop and shoot it.
Davis back the other way. It's a 3-ball.
He's looking back at the fans. I don't know if the fan, they were clapping as he was running away, so maybe it's a Windsor fan.
Davis, over the course of the regular season, shot 35.7% from downtown. This one glazed off the hip of Claiborne. It'll maintain London's possession. 32.2 seconds left on the board.
And that's where the inexperience from young Couch is showing, right? Because Haley had made the play, got around his man, and he was looking to put that ball right in his path for young Couch to run down the key to slam dunk it, but young Couch sort of hesitated, says, oh yeah, I gotta get going.
Out on the court right now is a former London Lightning product from this season, Adam Alita, who's also a product of Team Egypt's national basketball team.
And a shooter, no less, right?
A downtown sniper, if you will, over the course of the regular season. He led Windsor with 44.9% shooting from beyond the arc. But 1 second separates the shot clock from the game clock in this opening quarter. It is Windsor with a 1-possession lead trying to make it 2 here. Davis from on top of the world books it down.
I told you he was heating up. He just had that feel about him.
Haley with a desperation heave. It hits the rim.
22-16. So down by 6 are London, and Windsor came prepared. They're riding a high in their confidence over their win over Sudbury. And that was with Justin Moss with 2 fouls and Billy White on for the last 2 minutes, giving them a break. Claiborne was.
You were talking about Bill Jones at the top of our broadcast. Over 165 wins, 2 championships, 2 coaches of the year. But John, did you know he was a pretty good player himself back in the day?
I did know that.
His college basketball days were spent at the University of Iowa, and he actually scored 981 career points for the Hawkeyes and led them to 4 consecutive bursts in the NCAA March Madness tournament. He appeared in 125 games and averaged 7.8 points and 3.3 rebounds. Although he wasn't selected in the NBA draft, Jones would play a total of 37 games in the 88-89 season for the New Jersey Nets at the time. Who the heck's Brooklyn? Where he averaged 3.5 points and 1.3 rebounds. He would then end up playing in the CBA, where he actually was a all-rookie team member in 1989 and a second team member in 1990 and participated in the CBA All-Star Game in 1995. Jones would end up retiring as a player from professional basketball in the 2001 season. And as of March 20, Jones, this was a team that was 1-11 on the road last year. If you recall, they were swept in the opening round of the postseason by these London Lightning. This year, completely different story. They're 7-10 on the road in total, John. And let's face it, won 2 huge postseason games on the road to get here.
Yes, and so I'm just looking at, sort of the substitution rotation here, right? And so Jones right now has got both his bigs, his 2 star players sitting on the bench. He had Justin Moss and Billy White. Billy White for a rest, Justin Moss because of fouls. Let's see how Windsor can hold up here.
7 different London Lightning products have points. However, 7 have 1 possession worth of points. Adams and Kaplan both have 3. Audie, Lard, Mordi, Nuga, Thomas all have 2. And that makes up the 16 points on the board. On the Express side of the court, 12 of the opening 22 points has been provided by Latin Davis, the Michigan native.
Yeah, he got going there for a stretch of 4 or 5 minutes.
So going back to our keys of the game on the London side, partner, who needs to grab the bull by the horns?
Somebody needs to get a hot shooting. That would be very helpful. I'm thinking, to be honest with you, Terry Thomas, I think, is probably going to have to show what he always does. Playoff Terry, right? We always call that.
Finals MVP Absolutely. From last year, and he's in a finals right now.
Yeah, and he had tons of rest from his last game as well. He had some lingering injuries, but I think they really need to look to him for some leadership, especially, I think, with this lineup for Windsor.
Jermaine Haley wide open in the far corner, and Uncle Jerry says, I got this, partner.
I got it. The clock was running out. No time for a pass.
The Scarborough native crosses midcourt and feeds Davis, who's leading everybody on the hardwood with 12 points.
Yeah, look at that. They got a big on him, right? No way he's going to get a free open shot.
Haley steals the ball away, feeds Jeremiah Mordi. The Lagos Nigerian native gives it right back to Haley, who drops it back to Thomas. Thomas going after a former teammate and Adam Alita and burns him.
He's just too quick off the dribble, left hand or right hand. He can beat you with that first step, and nobody came over to cut off that lane to the basket, but that's what Terry Thomas does.
Terry Thomas played in 49 less minutes than the previous season, but still averaged 29.5 minutes per game and shot 41.3% from the field.
Interesting, the leading scorer for Windsor is being guarded by Jermaine Haley.
Claiborne
Why do you think that is, right?
sends Jean Cooch to the deck and says sayonara.
Send him to the deck is right. He's got the muscle to do it. Kept a good position as well.
William Claiborne, as I already mentioned before, partner, a lot more responsibility here in 2023. Played in a total of 6 games for the Express last year before the postseason. Played in 33 so far in 2023. Express with a 4-point lead here with 10:20 remaining before the halftime break. Thanks for joining us on NBLC.TV. He's John Van Houweling and I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz. Davis, nice pass to Claiborne. The apple from Davis was oh so sweet.
He was just looking for Jean Cooch to come over and help double team. Nice, beautiful underhand pass for an easy putback.
The London Lightning won their opening 2 games of the postseason, 110-97, 88-69. Both of those games were broadcasted right here on NBLC TV, presented by Cujo Entertainment, as Jean Cooch is fouled on his way to the hoop by Claiborne. But then they lost Game 3 in Kitchener. Terry Thomas had 25 points and 12 rebounds in a double-double performance. Jermaine Haley, who was banged up, had 21 points off the bench, and they still lost by 5. They did put the shoe on the other foot, or the Jordan on the other foot, as I like to say, by winning by 5 in the next game, eliminating the Titans 94-89. It was Jeremiah Mordi's 25 points and Mike Nuga's 25 points. Wow, 50 of the 94 produced by the London Lightning by those 2 gentlemen. And then you look to the Sudbury-Windsor series. Windsor lost their first game of that series, 108-99, only to win the last game of that series, 108-99. And in between that, they won twice, and they lost once in overtime.
So I'm just looking at the score here, right? We're in the partway through the second quarter.
Defense wins championships, right, John?
Well, this is what I'm saying, 26-22. So who does this favor? I think it favors London.
Okay. You caught my tongue because I was going to say the Express.
I think London, because I think London can still, they haven't shot well. If they start shooting well, they can really do something, but they keep their defense consistent. Windsor has not shown.
Davis continues to shoot hot.
Again, he's the hot guy. They got to stay right on him. That time Haley lost him. But I think London's got more firepower to come yet. I think Windsor is playing very, very well right now, defensively and offensively, and they're up by 7, yes, but still a low-scoring game.
John, Latin Davis is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc as he puts up a long distance 2 and doesn't get the friendly roll. Offensive rebound by Claiborne into the recycling bin, and Doug Plum calls a timeout as his team trails here by 7 with just over 9 minutes remaining before half.
And this is where they miss Lou Field, right? His bulk underneath to hold off the Claibornes, hold off the Mosses, hold off the ones that are coming inside for those rebounds. You had Young Cooch and Lardon there. They're 2 bigs, but they don't have that big frame, that weight behind them to hold people away from the basket. You have to establish your position early in order to do that against a big.
London is making their 7th appearance in a final. That's only better than the Halifax squad, which is known as the Rainmen and then known as the Hurricanes. They actually made 5 appearances, and actually the Rainmen actually lost both of their only appearances in an NBLC final back in 2012 to London, in 2015 to Windsor, ironically enough. Now, bridesmaids, John, always the bridemaid, never the bride. Well, the Summerside Storm in 2013, the Island Storm of 2014, the St. John's Edge of 2019, and the KW Titans now of 2022 are the only teams to ever make a final and not win an NBLC championship.
You do a lot of homework. That's pretty impressive. So just picking up on what I'm saying here, this lineup that's out here for Windsor is also, 2 or 3 players were off the bench, right? No Justin Moss, no Billy White on the floor, and they're opening the lead up now to 9 points. London really is going to have to get their shooting game going here.
What's interesting, too, is turnovers are London 5, Windsor 2, but the points off of turnovers is even at 2 apiece. And they actually put the points on the board late from the scores table, so the lead is now 9 with 9:12 remaining.
Saying, yeah, exactly. So London's struggling to find some offense here. Somebody's going to need to take the bull by the horn, as you said. It's going to have to be a shooter of some kind. Can that be Diego Kaplan, the man with the ball? Jeremiah Mordi, he can shoot as well. So can Terry Thomas.
London offensively produced 103.2 points per game. That was third in the league. The Windsor Express, though, produced 107.6 points. That's second.
So turnover that time. Definite miscommunication between Diego Kaplan and Lard that time. Kaplan thought he was rolling down the middle, but he was setting a back screen.
Well, we talked about derailing Billy White in our keys to the game for the London Lightning. So far in this contest, he's 1 of 3 from the field. He has 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 points. I think if you're a Lightning fan, you'd take that with 8:51 remaining in the second quarter.
Well, he's spent the last 4 or 5. He's been 5 minutes off the floor already, and London and Windsor's got an increased lead. Claiborne got the foul that time for illegal screen. But
and on to the court comes Billy White.
But what's the advantage here, right? He got some rest, right, in this first half. Because all of a sudden Moss was off and he had to take the load, but the substitution, the bench for Windsor playing terrific.
Both teams love to share the ball. London was the best assist per game team with 21 per contest. Just behind him, and I mean breathing down their neck at 19.9 was the Windsor Express.
Okay, that time, good play for Lard. Kept his composure down there. I think he can score once he gets the ball down low. He has enough post play to do that.
Garth with a nifty stop-and-go move on Mordi. All the way cross-court to Alita. Tries to fire the laser beam off mark. Nuga, coast to coast from the rebound. Oh, my word, Mike Nuga.
Pace of the game is speeding up a little, right? Got the 2 speedsters out there again, Audi and Nuga.
They like to put their opponents on the treadmill and hit the arrow upward. As it's Garth stuck on a pivot, feeds White. White trying to get this from distance. It won't go. He's now 0 of 3 from beyond the arc to start this championship series. Mordi feeds Nuga. London trailing by 5. Nuga picking up the half-hearted screen by Lard. It's Thomas from deep. No good. So again, both teams not necessarily shooting off the lights. As Billy White with a nifty move.
That was terrific. I was just going to say, he needs to get to go to the basket or put his back to the basket, one or the other, and he just did it on that possession.
Teams are a combined 5 for 21 as Thomas responds off the square. Express are 3 of 10. Lightning are 2 of 12 from beyond the arc to start this game. So you take away all those 3-ball attempts, you're in an offensive bonanza. Ooh, no love from the rim for Nick Garth. He's laying down on the court. I hope he's okay.
I think he's tired. He's played a lot. He's exhausted for a second, catching his breath. I don't know if he's been off, maybe once.
Started 30 of 33 games for Bill Jones and averages 30.7 minutes per game, does Garth. He's born in Houston, Texas, and as I mentioned, went to Lamar. They're known as the Cardinals. In the regular season, he shot 86.3% from the free throw line.
There you go. The good shooters. Going to be a good shooter at the foul line. Just got to get him there. He drove to the hoop, drew the foul.
In fact, during his 3,400 minutes of court time in a Lamar jersey, he shot 81.6% in his NCAA career.
Nice. So I see Justin Moss back on the floor at the 7-minute mark of the second quarter with 2 fouls.
Yeah, and he got those fouls early.
Yeah, he's played maybe 4 minutes this game so far.
You think London would want to try and exploit him right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thomas thought about going after him, kicks it out to ice him, into the corner to Nuga. Yes!
Good ball moving that time. Good swift pass to the corner. And you saw Nuga had his hands ready, right? Caught the ball and he swung in the shooting motion right away.
Nuga shot 32.1% from beyond the arc over the course of the regular season, where he started in 10 of 30 games. He led the team, John, in rebounds with 158. Davis back out to Garth. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Garth's going to have to rush this one. Puts up the shot, hits the back of the rim. Lard out-rebounds his teammate in Audi, but feeds the Canadian the ball.
That's because they have both good position, that's why.
Audi zigzagging his way to the mesh.
That's the strength. Getting to the rim, getting to the rim, getting to the rim. Him and Thomas and Nuga. That's all 3 of those. That's their style.
London, who is trailing by 9, has whittled the lead down to 2, although Moss tries to go back to work on Cameron Lard here. Into the corner to Calise. Nobody home.
I think he should have just taken that up. He had good inside position. You got to do the old-fashioned little soft lob hook shot, you know.
Well, again, a 60+% shooter from the field in a limited time so far in the season.
He was 5 feet away from the basket, so I'm thinking, take it up. You got heft to do that.
Marcus Audi crosses midcourt before joining the London Lightning. He was in Luxembourg playing for the Moosel Pikes. This year, he started 5 of 30 games for Doug Plum as Isom left open and burns the Express.
Yeah, a little misdirection play with Terry Thomas, took the defender away, and Isom got the ball right away. All kinds of time to shoot.
Thomas shot 22.2% from distance. Marique Isom shot 44.4%. I don't know if you're a numbers game or not, partner. I would have gone after Isom.
Yeah, but the ball was at the top of the key, and it looked like Thomas was going to get it and go race down the middle, so people reacted because he had already proven they can get down to the rim, right? So that you're going, I got to stop him. Then Isom just slides out to the three-point line for just like sitting in his rocking chair. I got time to figure this out,
Justin Moss played 2 seasons in this league with the Orangeville A's. He then played 2 seasons in France and spent last year with the KW Titans, meaning that this is technically the second finals in a row for Justin Moss, now in a Windsor Express uniform. He was a product of Buffalo. They're known as the Bulls in the NCAA. And in 2015, he was a MAC Player of the Year, All-MAC First Team, and All-District First Team member. 1 point lead for the Express here in game number 1 of a best of 5 for the National Championship of Canada. Audi to Isom, perimeter passing to Nuga. Picks up a screen from Jean Couch, back over to Isom, drops it for Thomas. Nice dish! And it's capped off by the Austin, Texas
twice
native.
Now that they fed off of Terry Thomas, right? First a misdirection run, that time a good ball fake.
And now Nuga marauding the rock and getting the 2.
Marauding is right. He is so quick. Between him, Audi, and Thomas, they are the 3 keys to get this one going. They're up. Finally, London's found their shooting power. It's 40-37. They've shot into the lead here.
This late second quarter run has now given the London Lightning a 3-point lead. They try and force the ball through Garth to Billy White, but it's picked off by the defending finals MVP in the East Preston, Nova Scotia native.
Right. He's showing his way, right?
Terry Thomas on both ends
it
of the court.
All parts of the game. Passing, dribble drive, setting screens, and a three-pointer. He's leading the team to 6-point lead.
And the defending finals MVP is embraced by the coach of the year in Doug Plum as he comes off of that great shift, I guess, for better lack of a word. In hockey, they call that a great shift.
That's a great term, yeah, because they do platoon a lot of their players, right? They pretty well play everybody who does London. So when you're on there, you got to try to make the most of your time and most of your shift. Absolutely.
A reminder that we were back on the air Saturday night for game 2 of a best of 5 between these 2 teams. Saturday night, Budweiser Garden, 7 p.m. tip-off. John, don't miss it.
I will. I'll be here.
And got to give a big shout out as we take a look down at the London bench. You see Michael Provenzano there in his nice suit. And a big shout outs to Mikey P, who today was announced that he will be leaving the team after the finals, but for good cause.
Where's he going?
Going to a graduate assistant program at the University of Michigan to join the Michigan Spartans basketball team and their coaching staff.
No kidding.
So congratulations to Michael Provenzano. And I joke time and time again, when he filled in for Doug Plum last season and this season during the technical timeouts, if you will, for Dougie, well, he was undefeated. So he's going to leave this league as the undefeated head coach.
Wow, it's not over yet. So
well, he's not going to fill in as a head coach, though.
In case the coach does get ejected.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
your premonitions are being thrown out there now.
I know what you're saying, though. Yes.
Hey, in this league, anything can happen.
That is so true.
Davis, from distance, hits the back of the rim. Kind of looked like the clown from Happy Gilmore. Just chucked it right back at him. This is a rebound by Isom. Settles it down to Audi. Down the left wing, guarded by Nick Garth. His team's enjoying a 6-point lead after trailing by 9 in the same quarter. Audi going right after the rack. It won't go. Jean Couch cleans it up. Hey, I got to put out my recycling tomorrow morning.
He is relentless on the offensive board. He's just so hard to box out. He's always moving when the ball is up in the air.
Did London make the appropriate adjustments in the last 5 minutes, or is Windsor starting to fall asleep?
No, I think London's has come alive on their offensive end for sure. A lot more motion going on with on offense. And people are starting to make their shots. So that's why I said a low-scoring game I thought was going to play to London's advantage.
Oh, Billy White gets bailed out by the official as they're going to call Isom on the foul. But here's the thing, partner. Billy White tried to put the shot up on the wrong side of the basketball.
Yeah, he drew the foul, so he's a smart man.
But wait a minute now. I mean, if you're talking about a true shot attempt, how is that a shot attempt when he's aiming at the back of the backboard?
Well, he got fouled, so he couldn't get to the front.
Well, you know what? You've been pumping the air on Latin Davis. You've been pumping the air on Bill Jones. You're pumping the air on Billy White. We're going to get you an Express sweater by the end of the night.
Give him credit where credit's due.
That's true.
So what I see is that I said the low-scoring game was London's advantage because they had more firepower ready to come. They just needed to get going. They needed to start making some of their shots, and they got on a run here. And Windsor, when Justin Moss came back in, with Moss and White, the offense seems to got a little stagnant. It's sort of like, who are we deferring to? What are we running here for an offense?
And you somewhat saw that at the tail end of that play, but Moss gave it to White, and White drew the foul out of Isom. Billy White, it's hard to imagine, partner. You go all the way back to 2008. He was a Mountain West Freshman of the Year and All-Conference third-team member when he was suited up for the San Diego State Aztecs, who just lost to the Connecticut Huskies in the March Madness Finals.
They had a great run, yeah.
I mentioned this before, the all-time leading assist getter in the basketball program for the San Diego Aztecs. It's Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, the baseball guy.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Athlete, absolutely.
Garth off the miss. Audie using his speed. Little zigzag European sidestep style.
I thought that was pretty good defense. Maybe just a little too much push on the ball by Windsor, but it's so much pressure when Audie and Nuga and Terry Thomas are driving the ball down your throat and you're trying not to foul them, but you want to stop them.
I got to ask you this question, partner. If Audie lands on his pivot foot there, though, or I should say his lead foot before the foul occurs, is that not a travel then?
It would have been, yes.
But they say the foul occurred prior to that foot landing.
Absolutely.
So Audie, first from the line, rattles around and won't go down. The guy over the course of the regular season shot 75% from the charity stripe, averaging 24 minutes a game for the Toronto, Ontario native.
So Windsor's got to keep this close for the last 2.5 minutes because this is a 15-point swing, right? Windsor was up by 9. London's up by 7 now, so now it's a 16-point swing.
And I know Lightning fans are tired of us talking about this, but we're going to talk about it one more time anyway. The Express are a perfect 8 of 8 from the line to start this game. London 2 of 5.
So that's keeping them in the game, right?
Davis guarded fiercely by Terry Thomas. They'll switch off.
They're paying a lot of attention to him for sure.
Davis switches this one off the window.
His left hand, no less. I thought he was dead and buried under there, but no, sir.
John, the guy has 17 points to lead everybody on the court in this opening quarter, or opening half, I should say.
I think you just keep riding him for as long as you can.
Terry Thomas ducks his head right underneath Jackson's armpit and feeds Isom. Did you see that move by Terry Thomas to free himself up?
Yes. Isom shooting with some confidence now, right?
Hope he wasn't inhaling when he did that. $1:40 remains here in the opening half.
What a turnaround here.
Moss and one.
Yeah, did you see how deep a position he carved himself out? Even against a physically sort of similar opponent with Haley. Like he's just too deep in the key there. No hesitation, go up, draw the foul.
This has been Justin Moss's postseason so far, folks, okay? Their first game loss, 21 points. Second game win, 21 points. Third game win, 24 points. Fourth game lost in overtime, a double-double, 32 point, 11 rebounds. And then the elimination game 5, best of 5, 21 points.
Yeah, he's been a beast for him. He's really come through. Tonight he struggled with early foul trouble and it looked like the offense was not running very smoothly. But they do need to look for him more, absolutely.
Moss is 1 of 3 from the field here tonight. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line, mind you, for just 4 points. Isom, too strong of a coffee on that stroke.
I don't know what Coach Doug Plum was all upset about there. He was just really on the referee running down the sideline. He saw something that I did not see.
Moss, guarded by Jean
Oh,
Cooch.
between his legs. Oh, my
Nifty
goodness.
move and some English off the rim.
And over a tall defender as well.
Justin Moss, not a bad acquisition for Windsor. Remember, he started this year in the basketball league playing for the Kalamazoo Galaxy, a team that the London Lightning actually played twice. But no Justin Moss. As Marique Isom, did he save it? No, he didn't. And thank goodness there was an empty seat between those two ladies as the Texas native barreled right between them.
Yeah, that was like, like a dive into a pond there. Like, yikes.
Well, Isom's only 6'9" and over 200 pounds. That would be a nice meeting to have on the courtside seats.
Well, Windsor sort of caught themselves a little bit. They're featuring Justin Moss a little more on the offense these last few minutes. They've closed the gap to 4 points.
Davis, 17 points of his team's 47 on the board. Moss rejected by Kurjan Kuch. Thomas pushing the pace to Nuga. 3 is away.
He's playing a 2-for-1 possession there. That's why he shot it so quick with the shot clock near the end of the quarter.
And Kaplan fouls Jackson the other way with 31.7 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and it's only 21 seconds left for Windsor, so London will get the ball back. That's why he shot it so quickly. If you're wondering why, it wasn't a really great looking shot, but it was a 2-for-1 attempt.
Windsor was technically, if you include their postseason and regular season stats, partner, are the best shooting team in the league now. Shooting 47.6% from the field. London, just a click or two behind them at 46.8%. That's down at third. We talk about the defense of these two teams, partner. I already mentioned the offensive stats. Windsor, if you just took their offense, Windsor would win this game 107-103. But you look at the defensive side, Windsor would give up 107. London would only give up 95.
That's big difference, big difference. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting. Windsor's offense would win by 3. Their defense would lose by 12.
So, I'm giving Windsor some credit here because they were really on the ropes there for a little while. Because first it was London on the ropes, and the bench really did it for Windsor. Got that 9-point lead. And then Justin Moss and Billy White were back on the court, and Windsor sort of lost their way in offense. But they've steadied themselves now, and we've seen probably the last 4 or 5 possessions. Justin Moss is the feature, and he's taking it to the rim, getting his post position, getting his points, and they clawed back into this game 49-45.
Going all the way back to the first ever NBL season, it was the London Lightning of all people, coached by Michael Ray Richardson, soon emerging as the top team in the league in the opening year, going 28-8 by the end of the regular season. That season lasted until March of 2012. The team then defeated the Halifax Raymond 3-2 in a best-of-5 for the first title. The team now has 5 titles, looking to make it 6 here, although they're going to have to play better defense than that as Jackson burns them. Just the second bucket of the game for Jamiron Jackson.
Yeah, he's 6th man of the year, isn't he?
If you say so, partner.
I think he was, yeah.
Thomas faking the 2, allows Jackson to go by him and hits it as the buzzer blows. The Lightning enjoying a 4-point lead as we enter the halftime break here, John. And despite the fact that Windsor is shooting better from the free throw line and both teams are shooting 50% from the field, it seems like the 3 balls late in that second quarter have been to the benefit of the home squad.
Yes, London came alive with their offense in that second quarter, partly midway through, and they erased that 9-point lead quite quickly, actually. And it really put the Windsor back on their heels. But Windsor has steadied themselves, like I said, with the big guy coming in, Justin Moss, so off to a slow start, but going on strong now.
So we see Latin Davis leading everybody on the court with 17 points. He's a veteran, and there's lots of basketball left to be played.
I just think he needs to keep his composure. He's going to contribute this game for sure. But he can be a facilitator. He can be a coach on the floor. He can be a scorer as well when he needs to be, right? He can hit the rebounds. He's always leading rebounder quite often in the game.
Billy White, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 points at the halftime break, 2 of 5 from the field, but 0 of 3 from downtown. The Express were led by Latin Davis, who was 7 of 10 from the field and had 17 of their opening 47 points. The Lightning are led by a combination of Terry Thomas with 11 points, Mike Nuga with 9, and Marique Isom with 8. So 24 minutes down, 24 more to go. Although we could require some overtime. Remember, it was the Windsor Express losing 124-121 in Game 4 of their best-of-5 against Sudbury in overtime, as Jeremiah Mordi fouled by Nick Garth back the other way. That's the first foul of the game for Garth.
I know what Billy was trying to do there. He was trying to suck somebody in so he could kick it out to the outside, but London stayed home on their players, and then he just put the ball too close to Mordi, and Mordi just stole it from him.
Diego Kaplan started in 1 of 5 games of the regular season. I mentioned this in the previous broadcast. Bosnia, Cyprus, Germany, Austria, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, and Greece, prior to the Canadian playing ball in his home nation. Up by 4, 30 seconds into the second half. It's Jermaine Haley right on that corner, partner. This one bounces off of Terry Thomas. Thomas shoots a glare at the
That's why I
official.
was making the shooting motion earlier when he got the ball in the corner the first time from Kaplan. Like, that should have been the shot. He was set, and then he just delayed, and then he got a second chance, but he's buried in the corner is right.
Yeah, there's a corner three, and then there's literally at the apex of where the corner is, and that's where Jermaine Haley was on that last shot attempt.
There it is there. Yep. Moss just fighting for his position. Even though he's got somebody sort of equal stature and size, he still bowled his way down in the middle, and White was patient enough to feed it into him.
And going back to a point you made about Moss, I realized on that last play, you know, there was confusion when it was both White and Moss down low. Well, now White's backing up to the perimeter, and Moss knows where his office is. Although Jermaine Haley punches this one away, then Kaplan cheekily punches this off of his hip.
I like that cheekily. I was going to say smartly. Quick thinking. Good hands.
Came from the Greece A1 League. And as I mentioned before, a late addition to this team trying to make a back-to-back championship run.
Yeah, he's a sharpshooter. That's why he's on floor.
Our player to watch in a Lightning uniform, Jeremiah Mordi, just 4 points and 2 rebounds in the opening half. But here on the reverse, that's a thing of beauty.
It was. I thought he was going to get cut off, but White backed off. Didn't want to get a foul, I think.
Garth, near wing, lets everything kind of stall so that he can get the ball into the corner to Jackson through Billy White.
See, it's just that open look, right? The coach, see, look at Coach Blum. He is furious. You know, it's not that the guy took the shot from the corner, but that he was so wide open from the corner. No challenge on it. People got their players mixed up, who they're guarding, and nobody was working with any sort of sense of urgency on defense.
John, tonight is game 1 of a best-of-5 in this National Basketball League of Canada Championship. Tomorrow night in the same building, the arena staff's going to go to work after we leave the building, partner. And, well, they'll turn this building from a basketball facility into a hockey facility, as the OHL Championship game is tomorrow. That's game 5 of a best-of-7. The London Knights trailing the Peterborough Petes 3-1. Now, what's interesting to note, so you have basketball tonight, hockey tomorrow. Oh, yeah, they got to switch it back to a basketball court for Saturday night's Game 2 action live here on NBLC.TV.
I guess that's called job security, I guess. It's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, I was playing my violin for the arena staff here, and Mark Frieser made the comment, hey, in a month, it'll be a ghost town.
That's up truth. Got to put it in when you can, I guess.
So the Lightning enjoying a 3-point lead. If you recall, we go back to the opening quarter of play. The Express actually led after the opening 12 minutes of play, 22-16, but they gave up 35 points to the Lightning in that second quarter. Lightning limited them to just 25, that is the Express, and as a result, it was a 4-point lead for the Lightning.
Yeah, it was a big swing, a sort of tale of two tapes there in that first half. Windsor really started off strong, and their bench played terrific. I can't say enough about that.
Both teams shooting over 51% from the field. Windsor's made 19 of 37 shots. That's 51.4%. London's shot 22 of 43. That's 51.2%. Let's see if these teams continue their hot shooting here in the third quarter. Terry Thomas to Jermaine Haley. The two Canadians hooking it up, but as Haley was trying to find Jean Cooch, it got intercepted. Now Garth had his pass rejected by Terry Thomas, got it back, fed Jackson, and Moss gets the offensive rebound, feeds the veteran, and Billy White reverses this one. He had me fooled, partner.
Good head fake, just patient underneath. Nice little interior, tough little pass by Moss. He handled that quite delicately.
I think both Jeremiah Mordi and Jean Cooch assumed he was going for the conventional layup, and he switched it over to the left hand.
That's called knowing where your man is.
Terry Thomas looking to respond, lost the handle, and as a result, lost possession. Three faces looking to check into a yellow uniform. That's Lard, Isom, and Audie. So you have two bigs and some speed.
So Mordi tonight's been sort of quiet, I would say, wouldn't you?
Given the fact that, you know, he doesn't always have the point production, but usually fills in with rebounds and assists. Yeah, he only has 2 rebounds and 6 points so far in the game. But
yeah,
if
sort of
something to be said about Uncle Jerry, he can cook at any time. Billy White, long distance 2, book it.
Got that just one little power dribble to get his feet underneath him. That just sets him so well, sets him up so well for that shot.
Started all 32 games this year, did the Las Vegas, Nevada native, and as I mentioned before, led the team with 17.7 points per game. Lard mishandles this, and it's actually Billy White, of all people, getting it back. Smart move by Garth and Jackson to let that roll out of bounds as it ricocheted off of Terry Thomas.
You can see Terry Thomas's effort there, right? He lost the ball out of bounds, almost stole it back on that pass, and then went diving after it. You know the intensity's there with playoff Terry.
Moss out of the office, so to speak, with 9:05 remaining here in the third quarter. Swings this one over to his left side to Nick Garth, guarded by Terry Thomas. Three is put up. The rainbow won't go down. They're calling a foul.
That'll be on Lard trying to.
That's on Moss. He was performing that on Moss, though, right?
That was Lard, because Moss was working hard to get the offensive rebound, so he just sets like a player control, right?
Second foul of the game for Cameron Lard, the Louisiana native.
Yeah, other than a couple of possessions, he's really struggled tonight.
Cameron Lard, 4 points in the game, 4 rebounds. In fact, his rebounds are a team high right now. Garth from Latin Davis, who's still leading everybody on the court with 17 points. Garth trying to add to his total of 6. Can't do it on this possession. Audie turning the tide the other way. Isom from distance. It won't go. He's now 2 of 5 from downtown and stuck at 8 points. Jackson going after Isom. Lost the handle. Audie collects the loose change. Zigzags away from Billy White. Tries to use his speed up the court. A late foul called on Moss.
I don't understand that foul by Moss. Like, he tried to foul 3 times. Once in the last possession because he was upset, and then twice in that one. Like, you're not keeping your composure. Like, why are you fouling down there? You should be running and hustling back on defense.
And that's his third foul of the game.
He was starting to have an impact down there as a bruiser, getting the ball, really mucking it up down underneath, creating havoc for London down on the offensive boards. And he does a foolish foul like that.
8:20 remains here in the third quarter of play. Just 1 point separates these two teams, who have a combined 7 championships in a league that's been in existence since 2012. Audie to nobody. Gave it away. Numbers the other way for the Express. Davis, how did he not draw a foul?
I think they're saying the defender went straight up in the air, but I thought, I'm with you, I thought there was some bodily contact and some foul, but don't see Coach Jones arguing too much about it.
Davis, who hasn't had a trip to the line tonight, will be denied this time by the officials. He's leading everybody on the court with 17 points. Does that not garner some respect? Although we look at the replay there, partner.
I see. I mean, he did go.
We're going to the edge there with Marik Isom.
I thought there was could have been easily called a foul.
Garth near elbow has White wide open. To the near corner to Jackson. Over Audie, it won't go. Lard on the rebound. That's a big one. 7:50 to go here in the third. He's John Van Hellingen. I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz. And for the second consecutive season, we're happy to take you through Game 1 of the NBLC Finals here on NBLC TV. Nuga splash.
Good patience by Lard that time. I thought he was going to take a little too long, get double team, but he waited it out.
Mike Nuga over the course of the regular season shot 32.1% from downtown. The other way, though, it's Jackson forcing the issue.
Yeah, he's really pushing the ball. He's not afraid to shoot it either.
Jackson shot 47.6% from the field. Now it's Isom corner 3, some rim rejection, and it rolls to Stuckman. Pushes it into the front court to Latin Davis. Still leading everybody on the court with 17 points. Nice pass to Stuckman. He's lost in the clouds between two Lightning and the Isom-Lard tandem.
Good ball, good dribble penetration that time. Stuckman was ready for that as well. So he's going to the foul line.
These two teams saw each other once in the month of January. London won that game handily, 105-83, thanks to Jordan Burns' 26 points over Nick Garth's 19. Then we go back to that infamous February 1st game, partner. That was the lone win for the Windsor Express over the Lightning. That was 105-104. Billy White's 25-point, 10-rebound performance outdueled Marik Isom's 24 points. And really, you go back to, I think it was 2-point-something or 3-point-something left on the clock. Billy White with the dagger at the end. But then the rest of the season, 108-104 London, 100-89 London, 103-97 London, 98-91 London, and 123-98 London in their final encounter on March 19th. These teams saw each other once in January, 5 times in February, and the last encounter was March 29th, I beg your pardon, before tonight.
That's 6 weeks ago. Wow.
Lard over Stuckman. No love off the rim nor the backboard.
So I tell you, Stuckman may not be flashy, but he is just so tough to play against.
Billy White, again, partner. 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. Are they going to say Nuga stepped out of bounds?
He bounced it out of bounds. He stayed with his feet in, then we bounced the ball, trying to get it back in. He bounced it right on the line. I think that was off of Stuckman anyway, but he didn't know that.
So the Express enjoying a 1-point lead here on the road. They were 8-7 at home, 7-10 on the road, 11-17 in the conference, and 15-17 overall, being perfect versus the basketball league, were the Express in 2023. Davis, who's 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, feeds a teammate in Jackson. 2 balls away, nylon ripper.
Now we're talking about, take the bull by the horns. That's what he's doing for this quarter for sure.
Jackson, if he didn't shoot the ball from downtown, he'd be all right, partner. He's 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 of 10 from the field.
Well, his last 3-point shot was the one he made, right? It's all coming in the second half.
Thomas, no shot, they're going to say, as he was fouled prior to any shot attempt.
He is so tough to contain off the dribble. Wow.
Well, he's got that veteran presence, that's for sure.
Well, Express are up by 3. A great little comeback here by them in the third quarter. Now it's time for London. It's like a heavyweight fight here, right? Who's going to get the last punch in? Probably going to be the one who wins it tonight.
Terry Thomas, who hails from East Preston, Nova Scotia, as Audie for 3 in the corner won't go. Jackson on a nifty rebound feeds Latin Davis. Thomas played for the Moncton Magic, the Halifax Hurricanes, and the Island Storm prior to joining the London Lightning organization in this league.
Both teams are speeding it up a bit. Don't you find the pace is a little quicker this last few minutes?
Much quicker than the yawner we had in the opening frame.
Yawner? I would call that a slugfest.
Okay.
More like it's hard to run fast. When you
I don't know about that opening
time.
7 minutes, partner, but we'll leave it there. It is a 3-point lead for the visiting Express with 5:36 remaining. Want to give a big shout out. There's 3 Johns on the crew. We got a cameraman John, a colorman John, and a play-by-play guy John. Quentin, you're all right too. Oh yeah, I forgot about Curtis back in the truck. We got to switch their names to John. 3 Johns make a left.
What?
Well, 3 rights make a left, right? So if you make 3 Johns, make a I don't know. Anyways,
I don't get the analogy. Sorry.
If you make 3 rights, you make a left. So I was trying to change rights to, instead of wrongs, it's Johns. Come on now, partner.
I can't do it.
30s. As we have with 5 minutes remaining, Jean Cooch, nifty pass to Cameron Lard, draws the foul. And Latin Davis is going to get called. That's his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's actually a good foul in my books. That was an easy putback for Lard, so he's going to put him on the foul line now because he was overmatched down there, was Davis. And that's his first one, so he prevented for sure 2 points. Now we got a maybe 2 points at the line.
A reminder that game 2 of this best of 5 takes place in this building Saturday night with a 7 p.m. tip-off. Not enough muscle on that one for Cameron Lard. Lard, over the course of the regular season, started in 10 of 22 games. He actually led this team in 2 categories, partner. Blocks with 22 and personal fouls with 69. He shot 51.7% from the charity stripe.
So I like the Coach's Corner, a little quote that they had on the website, right, from Bill Jones. So you read it, what does it say? It says, we just got to go out there and compete for 48 minutes. We've played London tough each time that we played them.
Fair enough.
I think that's what they're doing tonight.
Mordi steals the ball away from Latin Davis. Numbers the other way for the home squad. Jean Cooch. Yes. No. Yes.
It's the soft dunk, we'll call it.
Literally, he dunked it. It popped out and went back in. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Could you do that intentionally in the dunk contest? Would that still count?
I don't know if you get any points for it, though. Ooh,
well, I don't know. There was that year where Blake Griffin dunked over a Kia and he won it, so they'll give it away to anybody at that point.
I liked it when the little guys won, Spud Webbs and those kind of guys.
You're going way back. That's when it was really a dunk contest.
Exactly.
Although this last year was pretty good, although a G League guy won it. Don't really understand how a G League guy wins an NBA skills comp, but, we'll go with that. White trying to no-look this one over to Latin Davis. Being able to read that play was Mordi. It ricochets out of bounds. Still express ball. 8 seconds to work with, partner.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Billy White. Like, I like what he's doing, but he's looking a little fatigued out there. That's because he doesn't have any help from Justin Moss, who's foolishly on the bench with that third foul he didn't need to get.
Billy White, what was that? He'll be fouled by Kurjan Kuch, but did you notice on the entry pass, he almost kicked some space to get around Kurjan Kuch?
It's like a chicken wing, but it's more like a chicken trot, I guess. I don't know what
Yeah, see, now it's not so easy now, is it, John?
Well, you know what the chicken wing is, right? Basketball, right? So
4:20 remains here in the third quarter of play. It is Adams inbounding the ball to Mordi, guarded up the court by Nick Garth. 3 Canadians on the court. Or I beg your pardon, only 2, but one of them's Terry Thomas as he burns the Express defense.
One way or the other, London was going to drive that ball to the basket. It was just depending which option was going to present itself.
You got a Texas native, a Michigan native, a Lagos, Nigeria native, and 2 Canadians on the court right now for the London Lightning. Billy
That's
White.
money. Like, when he gets to have that one little power dribble before he does that shot, power dribble and gets his feet underneath him, his percentage goes way up.
People think that the Oakland A's baseball team is heading to Billy White's hometown. That's Las Vegas, Nevada.
I heard that, yeah.
You also have the Las Vegas Golden Knights, 4 straight conference appearances in 6 years of their history. How is that even possible?
Billy White blocked that shot from Terry Thomas and then held out for a foul. Looks like Haley got the foul that time.
Well, go figure. We're giving Vegas some love, and the Vegas native starts stepping up his game.
Technical foul
on Doug Plum.
Yeah, he's on the court now. He might get a second one if he's not careful.
And the Brooklyn jeer erupts from the Budweiser Gardens faithful.
I didn't really see a whole lot
Now, his
there.
assistant coaches should be, okay, he's calmed down a little bit, but as he was walking towards the officials, you think that's when the assistant should be, there you go, okay, come on, Doug.
I would think so, yes. It might be a calculated move too, right? So.
In fact, first game of the baseball season, a teammate got warned. I ran out there before I could grab his shoulder. He was ejected.
No.
So I was a little too late to the party.
Okay.
Latin Davis, as a result of the technical foul, will shoot one from the line. And Lightning fans are saying it resoundingly, ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. So I wonder what he was upset about there.
He's still getting some lip service in, by the way.
Because I just saw, that play down underneath there with Billy White, Terry Thomas, and Haley. Didn't look like anything, So I'm not sure what he's upset about, to be honest with you.
It's funny because almost like a representation, like a captain on the court. Terry Thomas was actually trying to act as a representative of Doug Plum, going over to the crew chief and Jeff Assholes, or I apologize, in Chris Delaney, I should say, and just sort of, hey, what was going on there? As Stuckman trying to clean it up, not once but twice, got it back a third time.
That's what I love about him, his stick-to-itiveness. He's not necessarily the most skilled guy, but he just works so hard. He earned that foul.
Tanner Stuckman, as I already mentioned, started 14 of 33 games, got 883 minutes in. John, that's 250 more minutes than he played in last year's season. He averaged 12.2 points per game. He had 184 rebounds, 28 assists, 11 steals, and 11 blocks for the Express.
Well, that's the 16th foul already for the Lightning, so from here on in, Windsor will be shooting foul shots. It's over 3 minutes to go.
Off the Billy White miss, it's our other player to watch in Jeremiah Mordi.
Foul. Yeah, absolutely.
Khalees will get on the call. That's just his second foul of the game for the Scarborough, Ontario native.
I think Mr. Doug Plum, the coach, is really trying to find a combination that's going to click here. He's making liberal substitutions in different kind of matchups, but other than that stretch in the second quarter with Terry Thomas, nothing's really clicked so far.
As soon as you said Doug Plum, I looked up, okay, where is Doug Plum? He's got his hand over Mike Provenzano, who's going to head over to the State of Michigan basketball program. He's got his legs crossing. He's acting like a cool cucumber over there.
Right.
He was just teed up a few moments ago.
So I said it might have been calculated, right? Trying to make a point. So sticking up for your team.
Mordi makes this from the line, and with 3:04 remaining in the third quarter.
That was a very brief appearance for Lance Adams.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's going to get a rest. Nuga's coming back in. Jackson into the front court, watched by Diego Kaplan, the British Columbia native. Davis, who still leads everybody on the court with 17 points, but partner, he had that at the halftime break.
Yep. He kept them in the game. That's what he needed to do.
Khalees. Beautiful pass down low to Stuckman, who shoulder shrugs Mordi off, but put too strong of a coffee. Now this one, Plinko's.
I thought that went off of Stuckman's leg. That's
and
what
the
London's
official says that it went off of Nuga last. Now, could it have possibly gone off of both?
I thought Stuckman touched it last, but you know, the referee's standing right like 6 feet away, so.
What do you think Bill Jones was talking to Stuckman about that as he's going to sub off now?
I think he's just telling him, good job.
Keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need more of that in the fourth quarter, kid.
I'm not taking you off because you're playing bad. I'm taking you off because like you're working your butt off and you're tired.
And we need some rest from you.
Yeah.
Davis creates some separation. The left-hander's good, and he's got his first bucket of the second half. Now has 19, leading everybody on the court. 66-63. It's the Express dictating this quarter, partner. Something we saw time and time again. London, a little, I don't know, hitting the snooze button to get out of the halftime break. Corner three from Diego. Kaplan tries to change it up, and he does. Prior to that shot, the Express were leading this quarter 19-12.
Like I say, he doesn't need much of a look, does Diego Kaplan. He just, you give him a little bit of a sniff or a little bit of a look, he's going to take it. He's going to bury a lot of them.
Does this quarter worry you a little bit, partner? Because we saw time and time again the worst offensive quarter in the regular season for the Lightning was this quarter, the third quarter.
Yeah, that has been over. We've noticed it more often than not this year. Yes, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a full-blown trend, but it did happen quite often. You're right.
Similar to the turnovers, similar to the free throw line.
Yeah, but here I'm looking, you know, Doug Plum's subbing liberally, right? Is he going to wear down Windsor is what I'm looking for here.
Jackson, 932 minutes in an Express uniform this year. The Lansing Collegiate product of his hometown, Lansing, Michigan, is at the line. Mentioned this already. He shot 64.1% from the line and makes this one here. As a team right now, the Express are shooting 10 of 13 from the line. The Lightning have shot 6 of 10. Jackson trying to go a perfect 2 of 2. Instead, he'll be 50%. He's got 12 points along with Billy White to couple with Latin Davis's 19. Now, they let Jermaine Haley coast right to the rack, but he couldn't cap off the play.
I just get the feeling he's not fully healthy.
Well, we know he was banged up in that first round. He missed the game, partner. Although, you got to say, he did come off of the bench and was able to produce 21 points in that Game 3 loss at the Auditorium to the Titans. Claiborne being double-teamed, using that big body, and patty cakes this one in.
Wow, it's so hard to move when he's 5 feet from the basket. Like, he's going to hold his position. He's got a nice, soft pair of hands as well.
What do you mean it's hard to move a 6'11", 295 individual?
When he's there, absolutely.
The guy's literally
Kaplan keeping him in the game.
Built like a Maytag refrigerator. I can understand why it's difficult to guard him.
You got to play him ahead. That's what you got to do. Just don't let him get down so low.
69-69. A low-scoring affair, if you will, here in the late half of the third quarter. Khalees, threes away, hits the rim twice and won't go in.
Young Cooch did a great job of boxing out Claiborne that time.
Mordi from Nuga. Yes.
Like Bill Jones says, we got to compete all 48 minutes. They've let their guard down these last 3 possessions. 2 threes by Diego Kaplan and an easy layup by Mordi, and now they're down by 2.
Instead of trying to push, because they only had a couple seconds to do it for the 2-for-1 partner, Bill Jones tells them to put on the brakes, and Latin Jones, as a result, meticulously will shoot the 3.
He's still feeling it.
I thought he was,
he took a little bit of a break in that third quarter, but he's feeling it again.
I thought for sure he was looking for a pass option as he was, letting the ball kind of wind down on the clock, and instead, with 12.8, he hits the dagger from distance.
Sometimes you just have that feeling in the game, like the basket as big as a peach barrel, or like you can't miss. Every once in a while, you have like a streak like that.
Latin Davis, 4 of 5 from downtown in this game. To put that in perspective, Jamiron Jackson, 1 of 6. Billy White, 0 of 4. Nick Garth, 0 of 3.
And Billy White's played this whole third quarter with no break.
Mordi fending off the passes, gives it to Jean Cooch. He'll be fouled with 0.7 on the clock.
And I think, as far as I know, it's only made the second one on Billy White. That was a good foul again, put him at the foul line. That was an easy 2 points that time. You got a foul to give it.
Davis, Jackson, and White, a combined 46 of the 72 points on the board. Jean Cooch, the birthday boy, couldn't get the first one from the line.
He's got to work on his foul shots, because he's going to earn a lot of foul shots, because he's going to be in the offensive end so often, getting rebounds and putbacks. Of course he's going to get fouled. They're going to put him on the foul line like a hack-a-shack.
He goes 50% on this trip, and, well, he was 51.7% from the line over the course of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that other teams are going to focus on, and he has enough athletic ability to get into trouble all the time with the other team. Like, they're going to put him on the line because he's so active. He's going to have the hands on the ball, so he's got to make them pay by putting him in the foul line.
The Windsor Express are flexing off their playoff swagger right now on the road here in Game 1. And remember, they outscored the Lightning 22-16 in the opening quarter. They did give up, though, 35 points in the second quarter to be down at the halftime break. But a pretty solid 25-21 third quarter. Remember, London sort of woke up late there. If they didn't and hit the snooze button again, this could be far worse.
Exactly, yeah.
Both teams shooting over 47% from the field. Although, you look at the free throw numbers, yikes.
7 of 12. I'm wondering if Mr. Kaplan can be the difference maker if he can get a sniff at a three-point shot.
Kaplan,
that's what Windsor needs to concentrate on.
3 of 4 is Kaplan from beyond the arc. That's all of his points so far in the game. In fact, he's missed 1 attempt from 2-ball land.
That was because the clock was running down. Remember that? That was an awkward throw.
That's true. Terry Thomas leads the Lightning right now with 13 points. He's supported by Mark Nuga with 12 and Mordi with 10. So those 3 combined have 35 of the 72 points on the board. You look at the Windsor side, Latin Davis has 22 to lead everybody on the court. Jackson and White both have 12. So that's a combination of 46 of the 72 points on the board.
And White's still out on the floor.
Kaplan to Isom, puts the floater over Claiborne. He'll be called
Claiborne
for the charge.
Saw that one coming. He stood his ground, and Isom had no choice. He tried to not run him over, but it was not possible.
Now Isom, though, pointed immediately at White. He felt like he was interfered by White as well on that play.
Let's watch this little pick and roll here. Where is White in the ball game? He's not in there at all. So Claiborne is clearly there, and Isom didn't get pushed till after he ran into Claiborne.
Oh, he's just, sorry, I thought he was pointing at White. He was just saying, no, possession's got to be ours. Well, it wasn't. 72 in this final quarter of play. Spinning around on the pivot and feeding White is Jackson. Claiborne.
Moving screen, yep, just trying to get some space for White. White just a little slow to react for that time. You got to, when your man sets the screen, you got to go.
It's almost like their hips got locked up with each other, and as soon as Isom was trying to free up, Claiborne didn't allow him that space, and the official had to blow the whistle.
So I like what White's doing. He's sort of conserving his energy. He hasn't been off the floor this whole half, conserving his energy a little bit at the three-point line and picking and choosing his places.
Jean Couch to Terry Thomas. Splash. Thomas leading all Lightning products with 15 points in the game. Latin Davis leading everybody on the court, though, with 22 points. To White, quickly swings it to Jackson. Jackson using White as a bit of a screen. Goes around Jean Couch and kisses the glass for 2.
Young Couch just a half a step late that time. He was trying to block that, but that was just a smooth move.
Mordi at midcourt. 10:45 remains in this fourth quarter. There's Diego Kaplan. Bullseye.
I tell you, he gets a look. Oh, my goodness. Lights out sometimes.
Diego Kaplan, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc here in Game 1 of this NBLC Finals.
Will Coach ride him for a little longer this time in this rotation?
Billy White left open. Rims out. His former teammate on the Moncton Magic, Mordi, with the no-looker. It fooled his teammate in Jean Couch.
And I'm just telling you, that's just inexperience for a young Couch. I don't think he got the ball like that much in college, but his teammates are looking for him on the floor because he's so quick, he's so agile. He needs to catch that ball on the run. He should have been looking for it.
Well, and especially you just mentioned he's driving towards the basket. His head should be on a swivel.
He should be expecting it.
Davis looked like he wanted Claiborne to free up. He does, but gives it right back to Latin Davis. Davis gets some separation provided by Claiborne. A trip down to the baseline is not to his liking. He puts it up for Claiborne. He'll be rejected from behind. Foul on Isom.
That looked pretty clean, but maybe a little push in the back maybe to get his leverage up. That looked pretty good defense by Isom, but a great little read there to Claiborne inside. He was just staying home, waiting for the ball.
Claiborne, I mentioned, played for the Express last season, but actually went to Bangwe Sporting Club of the Basketball Africa League before rejoining the Express for this season. During a year where he had 529 minutes of court time in the NBLC, he shot 74.7% from the line. He had a massive game against the Newfoundland Rogues out in Newfoundland when Windsor beat the Basketball League squad of Canada. And, you know, that seemed to be a feather in his cap, if you will, to solidify, hey, I'm not just a fluke. I'm here to solidify myself as a major part of this team.
He's just got to play with himself. He's got lots of great tools, a great pair of hands for one thing.
Holding foul behind the play.
I think that was Kaplan darting over the side there, and everybody says, no, don't let him free. And tugged on his jersey, I think.
Well, he's been on fire from downtown. He's 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He's got 12 points along with Mike Nuga. Jeremiah Mordi, who's got 10 points in this game, finds Cameron Lard. Lard's leading all Lightning products and rebounds with 6. Mordi, step back 2. Hits the back of the rim. It's Lard on the offensive rebound, his 7th of the game. Terry Thomas from distance. It won't go. Ricochets back to Jeremiah Mordi. Can they put one in?
It's going to be a push and foul over the back foul on Calise. But did you see the quick thinking by Haley that time? Rebound up in the air. He's still up in the air. He just tips it to the open teammate Mordi, who missed the little easy puppy, but he drew the foul.
Yeah, they might have to repaint the rim if this trend continues, John. 1 point lead for the Lightning here at home in game 1 of a best of 5. Again, a quick reminder that game 2 of this series takes place on Saturday night, 7 p.m. tip-off. Same bat channel, same bat place, same bat time. Looks like Calise is substituting out.
And I think Calise got a technical, because I just saw the technical signal. It wasn't against Bill Jones. I'm pretty sure Calise, as he's walking off, was muttering at the ref.
And the fact that Jeremiah Mordi's being left by his lonesome at the line is another indicator.
I'm just looking as they're walking down the court. I'm pretty sure Calise got that technical.
We're probably not going to see it, but on that loose ball, it did look like Mordi maybe put a little more effort, for better lack of a word, to get to the orange cylinder.
Embellishment you talking about?
I could see why Calise was making a little bit of an argument there. Now Terry Thomas takes one in the chops, and it looks like he's going to go to the line. I love what Latin Davis is doing here, though. Right away, he's like, everybody come here. Let's chill out. Let's talk about what we need to do.
Yeah, keep your composure. Keep your composure. Exactly. Interesting. No Justin Moss yet back in the game.
Still resting the big man, the Detroit, Michigan native, still on the bench. It is Terry Thomas now at the line. This one won't go for the East Preston, Nova Scotia native.
He's usually a pretty reliable foul shooter.
Over the course of the regular season, though, I will beg your pardon on that, Johnny. It was 69.5%.
No, I meant historically. I meant over his career.
Oh, now you're going to put that caveat.
We already said earlier that this year was a down year for him for foul shooting, but historically over his career.
Well, the team shot 70%. He shot 69.5%.
Yeah,
pretty much what the team did.
And part of the equation is that he gets to the foul line a lot as well.
Mordi and White battled for the ball, and according to the near official, it goes off of White last. London gets possession with the 3-point lead.
And this is where it's a 3-point game. London is really sensing that maybe they can make a push here. Windsor needs to keep their composure.
Mordi watched by Garth. Garth sent down to the ground, and they call a charge on Mordi.
They call like an offensive foul. He put his shoulder and then put his arm out real quick and sent the defender flying.
Garth, worse for wear on the ground.
I think he got it right in the, like, you know how you lose your breath sometimes when you get it right in the middle of the chest. You get that.
Why are there no trainers going out on the court right now?
I don't know. Maybe it looks like he's holding his hip a little bit there too, right? I thought maybe he got the wind knocked out of him, but no, it looks more like he hit the floor hard.
Is it the argument in FIBA rules that if the trainer comes out, he has to substitute out and he wants to stay in this game?
I don't know what those rules are for FIBA exactly.
I'm just a little curious, you know. It's the playoffs.
Well, they're giving
you get spilt down to the deck. We're going to take a look at it here on the replay. I don't know about that, partner.
He tripped him and he put the shoulder in him, so even if it's accidental, it's a foul.
Garth still on the court. It's Jackson reversing this one off the window. Lard and Kaplan a little bickering at each other at the end of that one. Mordi guarded fiercely by Garth. Garth's not going to back down in this game. Look at him go right after Jeremiah Mordi. Forced to leave it there to Haley. Now Terry Thomas. The juniors work together for 2 points.
He just senses when is the time to put the dagger down and drive it down the throat of the defense. And everybody backed off that time.
Jackson to Claiborne. Claiborne draws the foul out of Lard. It's the third foul of the game to Cameron Lard. By the way, Jermaine Haley, you talked about that nice assist that he just had. That's his first apple of the game. He's 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from downtown. No points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
Yeah, I really feel as physically he's
not at 100%.
He's gutting it out is basically what he's doing. And I think the coach sort of saved him for the fourth quarter here as well.
Claiborne, ice water in the veins as he takes the 3-point deficit down to 2.
And White still on the floor, still no sign of Moss. I wonder if that reaction that Moss had, Jones is going, I don't know, I think I play better with you off the floor right now. Even though he's a 20-point-a-game guy, I'm going like, really? Got to put him in sometime.
The lead is at 1. Garth gets bumped off the man by Jean Couch. Mordi trying to do it himself. The two Africans work together as the Nigerian missed it and the South Sudan native cleaned it up.
I tell you, young Couch, he just follows so often. He's so hard to keep off the offensive rim.
Billy White, you can hear the crowd getting into it. They're booing White every time they have possession. Claiborne, triple teamed underneath the basket. Tried to no-look it to White, who settles it down. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. White over Terry Thomas, nylon.
He is just a great shooter off the dribble. Like that one power dribble gets his 2 feet underneath him. That's the 3rd or 4th time now. It's such a smooth shot.
I'm interested in watching this Garth Mordi battle because even on that last inbounds, not giving him any room to breathe with Garth, but Haley takes advantage of it, not going to Jeremiah Mordi, and does it himself for 2 points.
Yeah, he faked the big guy right out that time. Ooh.
Jackson, nice ball movement. Gives it to White, guarded by Jermaine Haley. White attacking Haley, lost the rock, got it back.
It's gonna be a holding foul on Haley that time, yeah.
So if it's against Haley, that'll be his 4th foul of the game. Him and Jeremiah Mordi both have 4. Marique Isom has 5. Those are your players in trouble. On the Windsor side of the court, Khalees, who got that technical foul, has 4. He's the only one in trouble. From the end line, Latin Davis looking for a teammate to get open, barely finds Billy White, leaves Jean Couch in the dust. What a game, partner.
Yeah, and Billy White, like I said, he was conserving his energy earlier, and now he's really putting the pedal to the metal here and leading his team to a 1-point just deficit.
Nuga, 3-point territory, marches his way in, lost the rock, and I think got bailed out by a call on Claiborne.
I don't think he lost it. I think it got knocked out of his hand. I didn't know it was really a foul, but definitely somebody hit that ball out of his hand. Referees are calling a foul on that one.
7:06 remains on the Budweiser clock here in game 1 of a best of 5.
1-point game, 7 minutes to go. I love it.
This has to favor the Express when you consider they lost 6 out of 7 encounters to the Lightning over the regular season, but we date back to February 1st in this building. The Lightning were enjoying a 104-103 lead, and Billy White says, "Nah, you don't." He got the 2 points with a couple seconds left, and the Windsor Express walked off the court with the 105-104 victory.
They would dearly love to have one tonight. They're in it, that's for sure.
Well, like you mentioned, Game 1 and Game 2 are played here in London. Games 3 and 4 will take place in Windsor as Latin Davis hits this one from deep, leading everybody on the court with 25 points.
That was from deep as well.
Davis, 5 of 6 from downtown. We put all the pressure in the world on Billy White, who's 0 of 5 from downtown. Jermiron Jackson, 1 of 6 from downtown. And Nick Garth, 0 of 3 from downtown. Well, don't call him French. Don't call him English. Latin Davis, 5 of 6 from downtown, leading the charge.
I still like what White's doing. He's got 7 rebounds, 5 assists, only 1 foul, and 16 points. Like I said, he doesn't need to do everything for a team, but he needs to show the team everything. Leadership, ball distribution, score when he needs to, play some defense.
Interesting to note, the London Lightning have more turnovers than the Windsor Express, 12-10, and yet they lead in points off of turnovers, 16-8.
Yeah, sometimes with a turnover in transition, you're going to get burned, right, with the easy layup.
Rebounds, in total rebounds, is even Steven at 34 each. Assists is +2 Windsor, blocks is +2 London, and steals is +3 London. But I guess the most important category is score, which is +1 Windsor.
Well, this is where I really see the coaches strategies coming into play. This is a coaching matchup now, right? The players are out there playing their hearts out, trying to execute what the coaches have told them to do. And the coaches are picking and choosing who's on the floor and what are they going to play. So this is sort of a battle between the veteran coach, Mr. Jones,
and your two-time defending Coach of the Year in Doug Plum.
So this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the game, right? This is crunch time, so you love to have fourth quarter crunch times, right? And this is where you really see coaching decisions make a big impact on the game.
Latin Davis, he has sprinted out of the gates and led his team with 17 points at the halftime break, leading everybody on the court right now with 25 with 6:51 remaining on the fourth quarter clock. Thomas on the inbound. His team trails by 1 as Mike Nuga moves this from the backcourt into the front court. Watched by Garth. Remember, it was Garth fiercely guarding Jeremiah Mordi in the previous possessions. Thomas off the switch, lost it as he was attacking Billy White. No call. Now it maintains London ball. Look at Doug Plum. He can't believe it.
I don't think it was a foul. I don't know why Plum's arguing that. Like, it was down the other end. You know, I'm going, it's not a foul. You stripped him of the ball.
Mordi finds Isom. The Austin, Texas native has 4 seconds to work with and feeds Mike Nuga. 3 is away, hits the rim. Haley tried to poke at it to the rim. Jeremiah Mordi sprints in there for 2.
That was Haley keeping the ball alive again, deliberately trying to tip it to Mordi.
Jackson trying to respond with the 3. It won't go. Claiborne got his hand on it. We're going to say after he was surrounded by 3 yellow jerseys, it went off of London last.
What was impressive? How did he get down there so quick? The ball just got scored down here with Mordi, right? And he's already down the court. He must have hustled. I didn't see him sprint down there, but he must have.
Davis trying to find the aforementioned Claiborne, settles for Garth instead. The battle between him and Mordi continues here. He finds Claiborne, 2 to the square. And just like a game of pong, boop, 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 boop. We're going back and forth here at Budweiser
Look who the
Gardens.
coach is riding. He's riding Claiborne, not Moss.
Well, like you said, there was a bit of an awkward body language on Moss before he was taken off the court. We don't know what was said, though, down at the court side. Corner 3 from Isom won't go. Terry Thomas grabs the ball, surrounded by 2 express defense. A jump ball is called, and possession arrow favors Windsor.
No, I think a foul is called. I'm pretty sure Claiborne is like, can't believe it.
Oh, you're right, Bart. Sorry, instead of putting 3s up, I thought he put his thumbs up.
No, Terry Thomas did a good thing by keep on struggling instead of just holding it tight. He was struggling, trying to get loose. And then Claiborne just got a little too exuberant slapping on the ball.
5:42 remains here in the fourth quarter. Jeremiah Mordi, who won a 2020 NBLC championship with the Moncton Magic, leaves us there for Kurjan Kuch in his first year in the league. Mordi got it back, and they're calling Nick Garth on the foul.
Well, it was, I think, Garth's doing a great job of really putting the pressure on Mordi. And I wouldn't say he's getting away with anything, but he's being very physical. But that time, just a little too physical. Now, on the other hand, he's complaining that he got chicken-winged that time by Mordi.
Second foul of the game goes towards Nick Garth. Jeremiah Mordi now goes to the line. Mordi in 2021 tried for the Texas Legends of the G League prior to going to France and playing 25 of 25 games there. He makes his first from the line. He actually played 2 seasons with the St. John Riptide. Starting in 2017, he got in over 78 games and 2,500 minutes in a Riptide uniform prior to winning the championship with the Moncton Magic. And as I mentioned before, 14 games in the regular season for Jeremiah Mordi. London had a 13-1 record over the course of that 14 game. 1-point lead for the Lightning. Man, oh man, what a basketball game here on your Thursday night. Thanks for joining us here on NBLC.TV. Terry Thomas, like a bull in the china shop, got between White and Davis.
He was trying so hard to deny the ball for Latin Davis. Got called for the foul. So that's a 16 foul for Lightning. So both teams will be in the bonus from here going on. 5 minutes, 22 seconds left in the quarter. Pretty early to go in the bonus, but both teams are in it.
Davis, 25 of his team's 89 points on the board. He's also got 6 assists and 3 rebounds. Looking to add to it here. He'll be rejected by the rim. Jackson tried to play it off of Kaplan. Wisely, Kaplan skips out of the way.
Because he tried to do that. He did that last time, right? So Kaplan was well aware that, hey, maybe I'm going to get some payback here. I got to get out of the way.
And wisely, the British Columbia native does. And as a result, London gets possession with their 1-point lead. 5:05 left on the clock. The Lagos Nigerian native in Mordi leaves it there for Diego Kaplan. Only 5 games in the regular season for the Lightning, but had one heck of a playoff debut as he rattles this one off the rim and in. He had 20 points, John, in the 110-97 win in Game 1 of the opening round. That was his NBLC playoff debut.
Yeah, we knew he came in with a shooting reputation, which he's definitely showed, but I did not know he had such a good handle on the ball as well. Great dribbler, getting his own shot.
But I think it's safe to say, John, that shooting doesn't always translate from league to league, as Nick Garth is fouled by Mordi. That'll be 1, 2, 3 shots at the line.
Yes, it will. And the referees are watching that matchup quite closely because they've been bumping and bumping and bumping all game. They don't want anything to get out of hand, so that time just a little too physical by Mordi right after the follow through.
As a team, I mentioned this before, Windsor shot 76.1% from the charity stripe. That was second best in the league. Garth makes the first one here. He shot 86.3% in 2023.
Well, what a big decision by Coach Jones to leave Moss on the end of the bench. He's at the very end of the bench, about as far away as you can get from the coach, standing behind the seats, as you may well notice.
Yes, but as I look down to your point partner, I see the rest of the bench in their, practice clothing. Moss looks ready to go into this game if Bill Jones calls on his number right now.
I think he's wishing and hoping, but I don't know if he's going to get in.
We'll see how the dynamics of this game play out over the next 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
Well, why would you take him out? He's been such a force.
Well, maybe you get a 2-possession lead and late in the last minute and you put 2 bigs out there for defense. Anyways, we'll have to get there first, partner, as Haley splits the seas and attacks the rack for 2 and 1.
I think he's been sort of conserving his energy as well, saving it for clutch moments like that. He just blew by, absorbed the contact, and was able to finish, but he landed awkwardly against that stanchion, and whoever that camera person is down there, I think he stepped right on him.
It is important to note, John, that Jeremiah Mordi on that last altercation with Nick Garth picked up his 5th foul. Marik Eitzem has 5 fouls. Jermaine Haley makes this from the line, and as a result, his team leads by 3. But dare I say, we get into extracurricular basketball, some overtime here on our Thursday night. Those fouls will play a huge factor.
They will.
Jackson down to the baseline. How did he do that?
A contortionist of some kind. I don't know how he reached back and put that one in. Terrific.
Literally was looking up at the rafters while falling down and somehow put it into the rim.
That's going to be a Billy White. That's where I'm saying I don't think Eisen was embellishing there. He definitely got pushed. And I don't know why Billy White did that.
Good sportsmanship.
It is good sportsmanship, but it's just a little too strong.
Well, and I think the officials are sharing your sentiment, and Billy White's just saying, hey, I'm not trying to hurt anybody here, but we are playing playoff basketball after all.
Yeah, but still, you can see that he had the pushing motion there, right? So you can't do that.
I forget the player that he stepped on his head, but Joel Embiid in the second round of the postseason accidentally curb stomped an opponent while walking backwards, and they actually had them mic'd up afterwards, and the guy that had his head stepped on went, hey man, don't worry about it, it's the playoffs, we're battling. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I would tell somebody that actually stomped me in the head. But it just shows you how gutsy these players are come playoff time. Marik Eitzem, John, he has money from this distance. Sure, he shot a little less than his average from last year. This season, he shot 85.9% from the charity stripe, which still led the London Lightning, by the way. And he goes a perfect 2 for 2 here. But remember last year, 96.4% from the charity stripe. He made 53 of 55 and set an NBLC record with most consecutive free throws made.
So interesting coaching switch here. Finally, the last 4 minutes, Justin Moss is in.
Jackson over Kaplan. It's money. A 1-point game here in Game 1. Mike Nuga looks to join Kurjan Kuch at the scorer's table. 3.5 left here on your Thursday night. Jermaine Haley behind the back after Moss gave it to Eitzem, lost the rock. Eitzem wanted a call, no whistle. The other way goes White into the corner 3. Yes!
Wow, big shot, big push.
Jackson with the 3 from the far corner, and his team has a 2-point lead.
That time Billy White did the right thing.
Uncle Jerry, this bucket's not going to count even though he wants it to. He'll go to the line.
That's right. But that fast break was Billy White taking his time and pushing the ball hard and sending it into the corner.
He's already got 1 technical in this game. He's getting hot under the collar right now. You can almost see him like a lion just pacing back and forth over that bait.
He is pacing.
You got to calm down.
He does.
We need him.
He can't say anything inappropriate. Absolutely. Hopefully the referees will have some discretion on that.
And I was just going to say, you called it, because remember, I talked about Michael Provenzano. He's going to leave this team regardless of what happens here in the finals. He's going to be part of the Michigan Spartans basketball program,
cool,
which is so cool.
That's the Tom Izzo regime, right?
But heck, if Doug were to be teed out of this game, yes, Michael Provenzano and Dave Sewell, the Canadian tandem, would have to take over the head coaching duties. Right. Davis didn't know if he should inbound it or leave it to White.
Almost a violation there.
We're all tied up at Wayne Gretzky, 99-99. Under 3 minutes to go. Jackson with the one-hander. Cash. So it's Windsor, the first one to go over 100. Great pass by Mordi. Air ball by Haley. White, well, escapes the pressure from Thomas and Mordi that had him clamped down.
Staying calm, keeping his composure. That's what I like.
Jackson trying to add to his team's one-possession lead. He's been hot as of late. They're going to say he got fouled by Nuga.
Just a little too much arm action. Like, I don't know why.
First foul of the game by Nuga.
I played lost, but you just have to control yourself. Nuga did everything right. Moved his feet, stayed in the air, and then just that arm swing is what got the foul. Like, the percentage was so low for him to put that ball in the basket because Nuga had done such a great job defensively, putting him in an awkward position.
Jamyron Jackson has been jamming out partner in this fourth quarter of play.
After
making that free throw, he now leads everybody on the court with 26 points in this contest.
I think he scored 15 in this quarter alone, I think.
He has. And to combine him with Latin Davis, who remember had 17 at the halftime break, the two have now 50 points combined after that miss. It's a three-point game. Haley saved that one from going out of bounds. The Windsor bench thought it did go out of bounds. Now, travel is called on Jackson. Jackson was trying to call a timeout.
He definitely had put his foot down before the timeout was called. But again, there's young Cooch not ready to grab the ball. His hands need to be ready. The pass was to him. Like, why are you not expecting that pass?
Doug Plum must be thinking the same thing, partner, because he goes out, Marique Isom checks in.
He just has to change his mindset that my teammates are going to pass it to me at any time.
From the end line, Jackson and Thomas tie up, and I think they're calling Jackson on this one. It'll be his fourth foul of the game.
Yeah, going to the foul line. Clock stops on the foul line for 2 shots. Can they make them? This is where we're talking about the nemesis all year, right? With London's free throws.
London currently shooting 17 of 24 from the field. That's 70.8%, slightly higher than the 70% they shot as a team in the regular season. Now, Terry Thomas made that free throw, but according to the crew chief in Chris Delaney, the play was halted as Bill Jones is at the scores table.
So he was questioning who the foul was on. The referee had paused the play. Meantime, Delaney had handed the ball to Terry Thomas already, but the ball should be dead.
So Terry Thomas will technically shoot.
You got to practice, Jerome.
Okay,
he's all warmed up.
You're the optimistic John, and I'm the pessimistic John. I'm going, well, wait a minute. That was 1 point you just took away from me.
Yeah, but the clock was stopped.
So the officials trying to orchestrate this properly with 2:21, and obviously this is huge, John. Possession's huge. Free throws are huge. They got to make sure they get the right call.
Yes, so the point's not up on the board. So this is his first shot.
This will be now his first shot.
If I'm reading this properly.
So he'll technically shoot 3 times on this possession.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
That did pay.
No, I'll leave that one for you to comment on, John.
Well, the referees got their signal mixed up. And that's just the way it happens sometimes. They're part of the action, so.
Does make this one. It's just a 2-point game. Looks like Isom was just on there for the free throws as Kurjan Cooch goes back onto the court.
He was in there for the inbounds play, right? Hoping to get the ball or get fouled. Full court press here.
Billy White waiting for the ball from the official. The official's walking to midcourt, partner.
He wants to make sure that.
There should be another point on the board. There it goes. So they originally had 99. It's 102-100 should be the official score right now in this game.
And I think it was 2:22. Was it not the time, or was it 2:21? I don't know now. So maybe that's what they're arguing.
Well, they haven't changed the clock, to your point, partner. It stays at 2:21, but it is just a 2-point game as it should be. Nick Garth and the Express trying to add to that, though, here on the road in Game 1 of this National Basketball League of Canada Championship. Garth to Latin Davis, who's got 25 points in this game. Finds Moss. The big man goes after Kurjan Kuch. Mordi comes in to support the play.
Kuch with the block. That's what he does well.
Haley to Nuga. Tries to get away from Billy White. The reverse is good. And one.
Speed kills. He's doing his own version of contortionism there. Took the hit and made the basket.
Mike Nuga. I mean, this guy, for good reasons, is your Canadian Player of the Year, partner. Your Toronto, Ontario native who played in 30 games in the regular season. Led this squad with 158 rebounds. He shot 66% from the free throw line. This one bounces out. We are all tied up at 102 apiece with $1:55 left on the clock.
So, another missed foul shot.
Now the Express, they won by 3 in Game 2 of their series over the Sudbury 5, and they lost by 3 in overtime in Game 4 at home of that series. They've played in some white-knuckle affairs in this postseason so far. Latin Davis, guarded by Nuga, backtracks out. Lobbed the pass to Billy White, a dangerous one at that.
Almost got in trouble there.
95 seconds left in the game. White's 3 balls away, clings out. It's Garth on the rebound. He was fouled, I thought, by Mordi.
But either way, if it's not a foul, which it isn't, the referee's telling Mordi it's not a foul. Mordi knocked the ball out.
Right.
So it's the right call. Mordi thought he was going to
get
foul.
He was fouled,
call.
which would have been his 6th foul of the game and been kicked out of the contest.
The referee going, no, I told you just knocked the ball out, so it's their ball.
Which is like the lesser of the two evils, to put it that way,
giving
John.
up an offensive rebound. That was, London did a great job forcing Billy White to shoot like a three-pointer from 5-6 feet out, but they didn't get the offensive board. Second chance again here.
Fans, if you're not at Budweiser Gardens here tonight, what the heck is wrong with you? You got another opportunity to take out some great basketball action. That'll be on Saturday night, Game 2 of this best-of-5 between these same two teams. The championship on the line. And again, John, the first ever season of NBLC basketball was 2012. You're looking at a 5-time champion in the London Lightning taking on a 2-time champion in the Windsor Express. Oh yeah, the 99th encounter in league history between these two teams. No other two teams across Canada have seen each other more.
No, they haven't. It's quite a rivalry.
And you mentioned this, the 5 championships by the Lightning and the 2 championships by Windsor. They've never seen the opponent on the other side of the court.
No, they've never played in the final. I just find that hard to believe over all these years.
After playing each other 99
never
times?
Met in the finals together. I'm like, really?
Exactly.
I did not really realize that till I read that today.
98 of the 99 contests happen in preseason, regular season, and postseason, but never in the finals.
Never in the finals.
It's 102. 102. 90 seconds left on the board here in Game 1 of a best-of-5. He's John Van Houwelingen. I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz. We're happy to take you through some Canadian basketball history as Latin Davis is absolutely mauled, but the loose change rolled off of a Lightning product. It'll be Windsor ball.
Good defensive effort again, and they give it up again. Another chance for Windsor.
Just looking down at Doug Plum, hands on his knees.
Only 5 seconds left, though.
Billy White, Nick Garth, 3-ball, long distance charges may apply.
Sometimes you shoot better when you got no time, right? You just got to go on instinct and on form, and that's exactly what happened.
Down by 3 as Uncle Jerry moves us into Windsor territory. Finds John Cooch, who put on the brakes. You think he could have attacked the rack partner?
He certainly should have.
Mordi now over to Haley. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Haley's going to have to start to move it. The step back three's away. It doesn't even hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation.
It is. 3 points down, 52 seconds to go. London will get the ball back, but what are they going to do here? Are they going to foul? Are they going to play the clock out? What are they going to do?
London's defense held opponents to 95.3 points in the regular season. They've given up 105 here tonight. And you look back to the 7 occasions these two teams played each other. Windsor hit the 104 mark twice. So this is the most points they produced in a game against London in the 2023 season.
So in London's terms, this is a high-scoring game, right? So which favors Windsor, in my opinion.
Lightning need a stop, and they need a stop now. 17 more seconds for Windsor to work on this possession, up by 3. Billy White, far wing, guarded by Marique Isom. Backs this to Latin Davis, tries to attack the rack, lost the ball to Mike Nuga. London has the ball with 30 seconds left to go.
And they don't want to call a timeout. Doug Plum's
down by 3.
Play.
Kurjan Kuch got the Mordi, missed 3. So another opportunity for the Lightning.
Needs to go to the hoop, yep.
Nuga attacks it, can't get Love off the rim, but he'll shoot 2 from the line.
And they're down by 3, don't forget, right? So that would have been an and 1. Wouldn't that been nice?
Nuga, 1 of 3 from the free throw line here tonight.
1 of 3. What are they as a team? Let's have a look, Steve.
Nuga looking to add to his 15 points on the night. London has left 9 points off the table at the charity stripe. 18 of 27. The Express have left 5 points off. That's a 4-point swing in a 3-point game.
It doesn't matter unless the game is close, right? But when the game's close, those matter because they add up during the game.
Ice, water in the veins as Mike Nuga makes his first from the line.
So will Jones call a timeout? That's what I'm wondering. I think he's telling the score clock, I want a timeout if it goes in.
Nuga, second shot's away. It goes down. Timeouts called by Bill Jones in a 105-104 game. The only time that the Windsor Express beat the London Lightning was back on February 1st in this building. It was a 105-104 final.
That's what the score is right now, yeah.
Oh, is it, John?
Yeah, that's a good observation. So anyway, timeout call by Jones, right? Going to advance the ball. Now London, they're going to need to foul, right? Because otherwise Windsor's going to run the clock out. So, but the question is, who does Windsor want to get the ball inbounds to? Because they know London's going to foul.
Claiborne, 4 of 4 from the line. Nick Garth, 5 of 5 from the line. Billy White, 2 of 2 from the line. Jackson, 2 of 4. Stuckman, 3 of 4. Moss, 2 of 3. So if you're a Windsor fan, you'd love it if they could get the ball to White, Claiborne, or Garth on this inbound.
I think only White. Claiborne's not on the floor. White's on the floor.
And remember, for the Lightning, John, Mordi has 5 fouls. Isom has 5 fouls. They can't be the one to do the damage.
That depends where the ball goes. You can't let the clock run out because you don't want to foul out. You got to stop the clock. Sacrifice yourself if you have to. But so, first of all, what I always coach that, yes, you want to foul to stop the clock, but you're always going to try to steal the ball first. And maybe they don't call a foul and you've actually stolen the ball.
Windsor shot 76.1% from the charity stripe as a team. That was second best in the league. London was a worse team in the league at 70%. So just 6.1% separated you from 4th to 2nd. Billy White looking for Garth to get open. Nuga, fierce defense. They do get it into Davis. Are they going to foul him? Jump ball is called instead.
That's Windsor's ball. That was a great defense. Only 4 seconds off the clock as well. But unfortunately, the possession arrow is Windsor's. They get to do this all over again.
But you would have been better off just fouling him then right there, partner.
Yeah, maybe you can do the whole same thing again, right?
12.7. Garth's going to get the inbound. Once again, London's going to corner him. Garth stuck there. Garth stepped out of bounds.
That could be a travel, I would think.
They're going to say Garth stepped out of bounds with 8.2 seconds left.
It was either a travel or he's out of bounds, one or the other. That's exactly what happened.
Doug Plum calls a timeout. His team's down by 1. 8.2 seconds, and it's the home team's possession.
And the referees are double checking the clock as well, and not too much time went off. I believe the shot clock is correct. So again, London, double team, don't foul right away. See if you can create a turnover, see if you can steal the ball. And if you can't, okay, then you got to foul. But both times they were able to put Windsor on intense pressure, and both times they turned it over.
The London Lightning won the 2017 championship under Kyle Julius, but the assistant coach at that time was Doug Plum. He won a championship last year for the London Lightning, and, well, he's trying to make it back-to-back jacks, as I like to call it, here in 2023.
So who's getting the ball? That's the question.
Well, we go to the shooting stats, if you will, John. Terry Thomas, 8 of 14. Jeremiah Mordi, 5 of 12. Mike Nuga, 6 of 11. Dare I say you go to Diego Kaplan. The guy's 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from downtown.
Who's on the floor? Who's on the floor? That's the question. Kaplan is on the floor. So is a good foul shooter in Isom. Haley's on the floor. Morty's on the floor, and Terry Thomas. So the two speedsters are not on the floor, Nuga and Audie. I think this might be going to Terry Thomas.
For the Express, they have Latin Davis, Nick Garth, Billy White, Jamiron Jackson, and Justin Moss. In fact, it was Davis having to pull Garth away from the officials, who was still verbalizing his displeasure over that last call. They did put an additional 0.4 seconds on the clock.
Yep. And look who's guarding the out of bounds. The tallest guy on the floor, Billy White.
Haley inbounds it to Isom. 7 seconds left in the game, down by 1. Haley from distance, lost the ball, tried to get it back. They scramble away for it. Billy White steals it. The Express win. The Express win. They pull away with the upset victory, 105-104. Billy White runs off of the court into the locker rooms. And man, oh man, these teams played each other 7 times in the regular season. Windsor only won once. That was on February 1st. The final that night is the same final as tonight. 105-104, Express win, Express win.
Absolutely. And Jones, he's standing right by the refs because a couple of his players were chirping the refs. He says, like, get out of their face, get in the locker room. So now he's shepherded them all in. The referees walk off. So exciting final ending there. 2 great defensive stops there by London Lightning to turn over Windsor, but then mishandling the ball by Jermaine Haley, which is unusual. And he turns it over for the final few seconds.
The Lightning were trailing after the first quarter of play, John, but then they produced 35 points in that second quarter to lead at halftime.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
They sort of hit the snooze button a little bit there in the third quarter, but then responded in kind in the fourth, although at the dying seconds, down by 1, they had the inbound with 8.6 seconds left. They got it into Jermaine Haley's hands, but you mentioned it throughout the broadcast, partner. We know Haley's banged up from that first round. Was that the wise move to go to the BC native on that play?
I still think he's one of the smartest players on the floor, to be honest with you. He just mishandled it, and it happens sometimes when you're trying to rush yourself. I thought maybe he was going to settle for a jump shot there, which he probably could have, but I think the play was meant to give it to him, and he's handing it off to maybe a Terry Thomas driving it to the hoop. And it just never got out, never happened.
The Express strut off their playoff swagger after defeating the Sudbury 5 in Game 5 of a best of 5. They then go on the road down to London and pull out the 105-104 victory. They continue to roll with the playoff momentum, and John, they get that road victory. A team that was 1-11 on the road last year and 0-2 on the road in the postseason has